Hello and welcome back to Everything Tumbler Tutorials. My name is Rebecca Escott and today we're going to be working with a 20-ounce straight from AB Designs. We're also going to be using Wisteria, which is a metallic fine from AB Designs. But first, we need to paint the tumbler, and I'm going to be using the Satin Lilac from Rustoleum because I prefer the wet spray paint method to apply my glitter. So once your tumbler is completely spray painted, you're ready to go in with your glitter. As long as your glitter matches or is as close as it can to your spray paint, you typically only need one glitter coat. I allowed this tumbler to dry for about 30 to 45 minutes before I went ahead and sealed it with the 2x clear from Rustoleum. Don't forget the bottom, and then you can tap off any excess glitter. Once my seal was completely dry, we were ready to epoxy. So for the first coat of epoxy, I am going to use a quick set from Glitter Craze, and I'm going to wait about 3 hours before I move on to the next step. So here we're in Design Space and I want to show you how I got to this image. So I found a design that looked like a piece of paper only torn on one side, but I really wanted it at both ends, as you see with the blue example to the right. So we're going to upload this image. Now I'm basically just going to rotate this upwards, and then I'm going to go to the upper right hand corner and click duplicate. Once duplicated, we then want to flip this vertically. Once you've selected both, we're going to go to the bottom right hand corner and click slice. Once sliced, we're going to remove the designs that we don't need. So we only need one of these, so we're going to go ahead and get rid of the other. Then we want to size it. So you want your width to be 9.478 and you want the height to be 7.779. I will have the sizing down for you below, but I am also going to upload this PNG file to the Everything Tumbler Tutorials group so you can find this file easily. Now all you need to do is decide the vinyl that you want to use to interpret this design. This is the design that I chose from AB Designs Printable Vinyl. Super, super cute. So all I'm going to do is take this off the mat. It's already cut the design for me, but I want to save as much of this printable vinyl for another project as I can. So I'm simply going to use my tabletop cutter and cut around the image that I've already cut with Design Space. We can now use our cut pieces for another project. So what we're going to do now is go ahead and weed out our design, and we're ready to place it on the tumbler. Now we're ready to go ahead and remove the entire backing from our vinyl design. However, if you do not feel comfortable with that, you can just remove an inch or two at a time and work it on the tumbler slowly. I prefer to go ahead and remove the entire backing from my vinyl design and place it onto my tumbler. When I do this, I like to, as you can see, have it on the cradle as an extra helping hand, and I will lie it as center as possible and work from the center out. So once I removed it off the cradle, I am not exactly sure what happened. I thought I was pretty solid when I did remove it from the cradle. However, I wasn't. And when I worked the one side, everything went smoothly. But then you will notice that I had to kind of go back and lift almost half of this vinyl back up off the tumbler just to get out a huge wrinkle that I had. I don't know if the camera is going to pick it up, but I could definitely see it, and I had to fix that. So here we are now. I'm just going to go ahead and pull it as far back as I can. And you really want to be super careful when doing this, only because of the torn upper and bottom. You just don't want to rip your vinyl at this stage. So just be very careful if you happen to do it this way. Either way, honestly, you just really want to be careful that you do not tear your vinyl. So you'll notice when I get it pulled back, I will then set the tumbler down, and I'll use one hand holding that nice and tight as I work from the center out with the other. And I don't know exactly what happened in the upcoming moments, but I apparently had a brain burst and I got completely out of camera view. So when I come back, you will see that it's completely wrapped. So I am so sorry for that. But I have so many other videos where I have done full vinyl wraps on tumblers and you don't miss a beat. So I'll be sure to have those down in the descriptions for you guys below. So I do apologize for that. So here I'm just smoothing everything out with the soft side of my scraper tool. And if there's any air pockets, use your weeding pen and literally pop them. But you want to be careful with that too, because sometimes you can actually cause more bubbles than what you had to start with. So when I go to remove bubbles, I really only focus on the smaller ones. I'm sorry, the larger ones. I have a tendency to leave the teeny tiny ones alone because under epoxy, you can't really tell. Once you're pretty confident with having all of your air pockets removed and your vinyl is nice and flat and adhered to the tumbler, you're then ready to go ahead and epoxy. If you wanted to add a name, now would be a good time as well. I am going to add in snow caps from AB Designs, about 2 little teeny tiny amounts. And it wasn't about the wisteria, because I really love how that purple is glistening. However, I really wanted that vinyl to shine up too. So I did add in a little bit so that everything would come full circle. This tumbler only took 2 coats of epoxy and it was complete. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in on this tutorial, and I really do hope that you enjoyed it. And if you did, please hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more tutorials coming soon. Don't forget to use your heat torch to pop any bubbles that you may or may not be able to see.